This is the In My Grow Show, the podcast dedicated to taking the mystery out of cannabis. I'm Alex Robles. So as always, I want to give a special thanks to bensound.com for letting me use their music. And I also want to thank you for showing up, taking the time to hang out, listen to me for a little bit. You know, I appreciate it. I appreciate all of you that listen to me all over the world. Send me an email and let me know where you're listening from. So, today I'm recording at my buddy's studio. It's known as the Buenos Dias Studio. It's, it's the first time here. It's a nice place. I think I'm going to bring on a little more light, though. And yeah, I'm going to see how this works out. Because I always need, some place to go. Just in case I can't record at home. Because typically I record at home on a Sunday while my family's out. But it doesn't work out that way all the time because, well, families don't always do what they're supposed to do they? No. Families have their own plans sometimes. Let's see. Alright, what am I smoking on? So, flower-wise, I've been smoking on some Platinum OG, which is a very heavy indica. It's a very heavy indica cultivar strain. And it's a cross between the Master Kush, the OG Kush, and a third unknown parent. Ooh, Sneaky Pete. In my vape pen right now, I've got some Royal Kush. It's a cartridge from Absolute Extract. And you've heard me talk about Absolute Extracts before on the show, and they don't pay me to talk about them. But I am going to tell you that I like their product. I tried a lot of different kinds of vape cartridges. They're not as clean. And what I mean by clean is that sometimes you'll feel. Yes, sometimes you'll feel. No, sometimes you'll taste the carrier chemical that vape cartridges use. It's usually a food-grade glycol. And I don't get that taste with Absolute Extract. I don't know if it's the way they mix back in their terpenes. Not real sure. I just know that I don't get that. Another thing that I've had with other types of cartridges or other brands of cartridges is that if I'm hitting it constantly for a couple of hours, the other cartridges would leave a waxy film over my palate, over the roof of my mouth. Once again, I don't get that with Absolute Extracts either. That's why I make it a point to pick up the Absolute Extracts, and luckily, my local dispensary, the Sespe Creek Collective, always has the flavors that I like. But this Royal Kush is a really nice one. I really enjoy it. Yeah. And like I said, Absolute Extracts doesn't pay me. I'm just passing along a product that I use, that's all. Alright, let's see, what else do I have? So this past week, I made some topicals with some trim somebody gave me. And it took me about, 2 days to get, maybe 3 days. I'd say about 3 days. It took me to get the trim ready because I like to soak my trim, the leaf material. It's the leftover trim when growers harvest and make the bud look pretty. Trim off all the really big leaves and all the straggly hairs, make it look nice and tight. So all the stuff that they cut off, that the trimmers cut off, is called trim. So I take that and I soak it for 24 hours in distilled water. And I'll change the water, 3, maybe 4 times in that 24 hours. Because what I'm trying to do is pull out anything that was sprayed on the plant, any kind of neem oil or pesticide that was sprayed on the leaf. Some of that stuff, will just wash off. And it'll also help pull out a lot of the chlorophyll that's in that material, in that plant material. That chlorophyll is what's going to give edibles and topicals that real hay taste and smell. So I'll soak it, and I'm not worried about really pulling off the trichomes because the trichomes are hydrophobic. The trichomes are the little oil glands that are on the leaf material that we want. Since they're hydrophobic, meaning they're waterproof, kind of, or, water slides right off of them. I'm not worried about washing too much of that off. And like I said, I soak it and I change the water a couple of times because the first 2 times that water is going to be really amber, real like an iced tea color. And I learned this technique from Jeff the 420 chef. He's I think I saw him on YouTube. I'm almost sure I saw him on YouTube actually. And he, as the name says, he's a chef that uses cannabis to infuse food that he makes. So yeah, I'll soak it for about a day and a half, 24, 36 hours until the water's almost clear or clear. I've discovered that some batches will come out lighter than other if I'm using trim from different growers. I think a lot of that has to do with grower style, I found that interesting anyways. Let's see, what else do I got? What else? Oh, okay. So out here in California, it's really expensive to get your legal cannabis operation up and running. It's turning out that you need to have a lot of backing. You need to have a lot of money. When January 1, 2018 rolled around, a lot of black market cannabis storefronts and cannabis dispensaries opened up, meaning they were unpermitted. They were selling it and they were unpermitted. And for the consumer, for people just wanting to buy their cannabis, we didn't really try too hard. And I say we as a collective we. There really wasn't a big effort on our part to look for, to spend our money at the legal dispensaries. Because also with that huge price tag to get into the legal cannabis market, it made cannabis in dispensaries a lot more expensive than cannabis from a black market dealer. So legal cannabis shops, cannabis operators have been just screaming at the state to take care of this, to do something about it. They have to do something about, the black market because, it's cutting into their bottom line. Why should they spend all this money to be regulated and licensed? So the state started to crack down. The Cannabis Control Board came in and started sending letters of cease and desist at all of these unlicensed cannabis shops, while at the same time they had a backlog of businesses that needed licensing. All right, as far as how I understand it. Okay, now, one of the businesses they went after to help stop the cannabis black market was Weed Maps. Now, if you don't know what Weed Maps is, it's basically a directory for cannabis dispensaries and cannabis shops in your area if you're in a state that has medical or recreational cannabis, typically. So the state went after Weed Maps and sent them a letter saying they have to stop taking advertisements from black market or unlicensed cannabis companies. And, they threatened them with the full extent of whatever power they have over Weed Maps, the Cannabis Control Board. But Weed Maps came back and said, all right, wait, what? I had to take a break. There were some dogs barking. I had to go throw rocks at them. No, I didn't go out there and throw rocks at them. That's not what I do. Okay, I love dogs. I'm a lover of most animals. Some animals, wow. That's a different podcast. All right, so where was I? Oh yeah, so the state went after Weed Maps and told them they have to stop advertising for unlicensed cannabis shops. Or they were going to, I don't know what they were going to do, shut them down. I don't know if they have the power to shut them down. Because I don't think I don't think the Cannabis Control Board has control over a company that all they do is advertise. They have nothing to do with cannabis at all. Cannabis doesn't come across their desk, as far as I understand it, in any professional way, in any kind of business kind of way. So I don't see how the Cannabis Control Board can really threaten them. And now, can they get other state agencies involved? I'm sure. But we shall see, because Weed Maps basically came back and gave them the legal middle finger and said, you know what? It isn't our job to police an industry that wants to advertise with us. That's basically what they said. You know, that why are they picking on them instead of going and busting these illegal cannabis shops that are clearly, you know, on every street? Or they're a delivery service and they're out there making deliveries. So yeah, we shall see what happens. You know, who will win. Because I know new state cannabis regulations are due out, I don't know, sometime at the end of spring, they said. Whatever that means. Before summer? I don't know. The 4th of July? I don't know. Let's see. And now... Alright. And now how about for a report from the Cannabis Front Line? Okay, let's see. A few things happened this past week. Let's see. Now I get a majority of this information once again from the NORML website. That is normal.org. Normal without the A. Several marijuana-related legislation died this week after failing to be voted on before crossover deadlines, including legalization and decriminalization bills in Hawaii, Florida, and Washington State. So Hawaii, Florida, and Washington State legislature adjourned for this year. Really? They adjourned for the year? It's only March. For the year? Wow. All right. So now you have to wait a whole other year. Effectively killing Florida's decriminalization and patient protection efforts, and the Washington bill to provide financial services to marijuana businesses. Ooh, that's not cool. Let's see. Elsewhere, police in Juneau, Alaska announced that marijuana businesses can now transport products by airplane. That's kind of cool, I guess, right? In Alaska, you can fly around with your cannabis. Well, all right. Good for you. Okay, let's see. Here in the state, here closer to home in my state, Sonoma County, California, is directing staff to review and vacate thousands of past marijuana convictions. County officials estimate that approximately 3,000 cases are eligible for either a sentence reduction or expungement. Well, good on you guys, man. That's great to hear. Expungement? Meaning it never existed, hopefully? That's great. Let's do that everywhere. Let's do it. Put it to a vote. Everybody, go register to vote. And then we're going to put this to the vote. Okay? Deal? All right. So I'm going to take a short break, ladies and gentlemen. And then I'm going to be right back to talk about what I'm doing. What else I'm doing.
We hang out after the show, drinking beers and talking trash. Up with the poor, down with the man, our Uncle Sam. We leave the bar at night, we see the same lie after lie. Buy here, save here, live less. We're gonna fight, fight until we die. We're gonna fight.
Okay, brothers and sisters, I'm back. Now I know what everyone's thinking. For a studio, there's a lot of background noise. Well, it's not really a studio. But you know what? It's a quiet place. Well, relatively quiet place. That I can hang out and not be in the rain. Can't be at home, really. Too much going on. All I need is an hour. And a quiet hour with a family and a dog, that's not easy. So, alright. Here's what's happening in my little grow space. Alright, so my seedlings are up. I've got like 4 or 5 cool ones up. I'm looking for another male and a female out of those because those are second generation. I want to make a seed out of this second generation to make a third generation. And then cross it back with the dad. Well, yes. Correct. I have to double check my notes, but yes, I believe so. And I also have a Gorilla Glue number 4 seedling coming up. Now these, okay, so the Gorilla Glue number 4 and the Do-Si-Do that I have are bag seed, which means those seeds came in a bag of cannabis that I'd gotten, maybe from a dispensary. I don't remember. Was I gifted it? Either way, I found a seed of both, and they've sprung up. All my seedlings, they're about 7 inches tall. If I remember, I'll post pictures of them all on Instagram, so you can find me at In My Grow out there on IG. I heard somebody call it the IG the other day. So yeah, there you go. And I cut down a Hit It Once plant that I had growing all winter long outside since Thanksgiving. She wasn't very happy. She only gave little popcorn buds, which is fine, but she was heavily abused. I understand her anger. I really do. But you know what? She really didn't, other than kind of stunting from the cold and the elements, and she stayed alive. She looked good. She looked very green, full of nitrogen. She looked great. She just gave these little popcorn buds. And like I said, she stunted at about, 3 feet tall maybe. So then, on the next thing I need to do, I'm going to make a video by, in the next, I'm going to say in the next 6 weeks. How about that? About making a Dewey Mister cloner. A Dewey Mister is, it's this small, looks like, the best way I can describe it is to Google what an airlift is for making compost teas. And a Dewey Mister to me reminds me of what an airlift is. It's a really cool little product. Anyways, I'm going to make a cloner. So I need to get a couple of neoprene rounds. I need to get a few neoprene rounds. I'll probably make like a 6 or an 8 site out of a 5-gallon bucket. 6 or 8 spots where I can stick clones in. I'll go get those at my local hydro shop at Blazing Hydroponics. If anyone's in Ventura, California and need any hydroponics, go to Blazing Hydroponics. There's nice guys over there. If you don't see what you want, I'm sure they'll order it for you. So yeah, I'm going to make a little cloner. I'm going to use the Dewey Mister, and then I'm going to get one of those 5-gallon water containers. The kind you fill up at those water machines. I'm going to cut it in half and put the bottom part over it like a clone dome, so it'll help with the humidity. Yeah, I just thought of that the other night, actually. I'm going to see how that works. Hopefully it works out as well as I imagine it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have gone through my list of notes for this show. I want to thank you for joining me for episode 11. Yeah, and don't forget to subscribe to the podcast wherever you get your podcasts from. If you want to support the show, go to patreon.com and, type in the In My Grow Show. You can help support the show financially that way. I use the money out of that account to pay for hosting fees, equipment, studio time, and that's what I use that account for. And use the Amazon affiliate link. You can go over to inmygrow.com and click on the link that says support the show, and it'll take you to the Amazon affiliate link. If you can't support the show financially, well, don't worry about it. Don't sweat it. Do me a favor though. Tell 3 other people about the show. That's how you can help me also. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get out of here now. Thanks again for hanging out. I love being here. Join me next time for some more cannabis conversation. And as always, remember to grow, learn, and teach.
It's just a little love that we need. It's just a little love that we want. It's just a little love that we need to keep us alright, to keep us together. Oh yeah, drum my beers. So many people are dying to get to the top. So many people are crashing to reach to the top. So many people are dying to get to the top. So many people just want to reach to the top. Listen, cannot race with the clock. Oh no. 'cause you know it's never stop. Alright, drum and bass, now take it easy. Alright, I take it slow. Oh yes, I take it easy. Alright, I take it slow. Oh yes, just a little love that we want. Just a little love that we need. Just a little love that we want. Hey, just a little love that we need to keep us alright. Alright, to keep us together. Oh yeah, keep us together. Alright, keep us alright. Oh yeah, hey. Just a little love that we want. Just a little love that we need. Just a little love that we want. Just a little love that we need to keep us alright. Alright, to keep us together. To keep us together. To keep us together. Alright, to keep us together. Alright, keep us forever. Oh yeah, take it down together. Alright, to keep us together. Alright, just a little love that we want. Just a little love that we need. Just a little bit of love. Just a little love that we want. Keep us alright. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Roots rock reggae in the house tonight.